Welcome back to Super Tuesday Recap. It's Kriss and Dpalm with your, Super Tuesday podcast for all the CW shows and Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. We're here to talk about The Flash, Season 3, Episode 11, Dead or Alive. Let's get through the synopsis of this real quick. Unfortunately, I had to go. Barry Allen and Cisco must work together to save Harrison Wells from an interdimensional bounty hunter, who was kind of hot, who seeks to kill him as it is a crime on Earth-19 to transport yourself to another Earth. Cisco and Barry must fight against the bounty hunter in a fight to the death to save Harrison's life. Hey, I'm gonna be honest, man. I like that we got a Cisco-centered episode that made Cisco the hero.
You know what? I was afraid when we got here it would feel forced. Mm-hmm. No, they pulled it off.
Yeah,
they really did.
Because you're thinking to yourself, you're like, all right, why was Cisco fight not actually your main hero Barry Allen? But it's like, no, it made sense. And Barry tried, and Gypsy was not having it.
Yo, that was very fast.
I love the fact that they everything. I really like this episode because again, it fit. Like something we talked about last week was with this whole racing to May 23rd and racing to Barry Allen dealing with the future. I felt like this episode, while it didn't center on Barry and Iris and that deal, a lot of what happened here involved that.
Right.
Like the first question they had when they're like, well, are we gonna let it's a crime. She's got a legal right to take HR back by Earth-19 rules. Should we allow him to do? And Barry literally had a thought. It was like, well, he was there in the future, so I guess that means we didn't take him. But then Julian was like, well, maybe that means you should let her take him, because then maybe that means what happens, it completely changes the future. So it's like, what's the answer there?
Right.
And I think that, we were worried about them. Are they going to keep going back to the future and how that's gonna look? They have a way of dealing with that now, where it's like they have the team legitimately, and particularly Barry Allen, has to legitimately think about things he does. It's like, okay, how is this gonna impact the future?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that them kind of working with the loosest of maps of the future is good, because it gives the audience kind of a touch point, but at the same time, we're just as lost as they are.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I have no idea. So let me go through my notes here. Cause first of all, I just want to say I love the opening with HR and his
vortex cannon.
His Barry Allen Flash fan fiction. Come on, man. The vortex cannon. I'm like, okay, this is clearly not. Okay, sure, dude. That's what we're doing here. Okay. But I also love the fact that Barry and Wally working together.
Yeah, man, it feels so natural. It's they play off each other really well. The CGI looked a lot better this episode. In my opinion, did you think so?
Oh no, so we'll get to this later, but I totally excuse them now for last episode because I believe that their interdimensional multiverse fight is why they had it go cheap last week.
So, yeah, we'll talk about that fight. That was really, really, really. That was
very.
It's the Flash. It's super comic booky. It leans in the comic booky. Having Wally West, having Kid Flash save a busload of cheerleaders who are age inappropriate because he's in college. It's fun. It's fun comic booky stuff. But at the same time, you get the weight of, like, we're going to talk about Iris's arc, and for me, that was the main, the Wells stuff was very interesting, and we'll talk about Gypsy when we talk about Gypsy, but...
Well, let's start with the Iris stuff.
Go ahead.
Let's start with the Iris stuff. Go ahead.
Okay. No, go ahead.
Yeah, I like that, and again, this is why I'm like, the entire episode quietly has the dealings with knowing the future. So when Iris finds out that, hey, yeah, Baron knows that, hey, you get killed in 4 months from now, she kind of seems like she handles it okay, right? And Iris being Iris, you're like, at first you're like, oh, okay, she just wants to get a story in this episode. That makes sense. We go back to Iris being the reporter and things like that. But that moment when she walks up to the arms dealer, it's like, yeah, I'm not going to die today because I know I'm not. And I'm like, whoa, that's a bit much. But I'm like, she's not wrong, though. I got her whole motivation of this. It's like, she doesn't want to be like her. She doesn't want to be like her mom, and feeling like her mom died without leaving a legacy and not making a mark. And so you see this almost desperation from Iris to almost like get her affairs in order, which is kind of morbid.
Well, not even get her affairs in order. I think that you're right. It's on everything that they talked about. You just talked about, but the subtext is way darker than something we haven't really seen in the show. She's convinced she can't die until she has to.
Yeah.
Like, that's going to be a long-running subplot that's going to turn out pretty interestingly, because the chances she took in this episode, that's not normal or okay.
No, like, Joe was upset. Barry handled it okay, but Joe was upset, and fucking Wally was like, what the fuck? Like, it's just, yeah, that was, like, no, like that's a bit much, Iris. Like, yeah, you're supposed to die 4 months from now, but you're also taking risks that you potentially might not have taken had you not known you were going to die 4 months from now, right? If she didn't know, and if Barry didn't go in the future and tell her that she was going to die, would she have gone pursue this story as hard as she did and did what she did?
No, there's no way.
Right.
And not even, yeah, and she wouldn't have that stupidity to go walk into a gun to her chest.
Right. Right. So, yeah, I thought it was a very interesting thing, and seeing her deal with it, like, we needed that. You needed, because we've seen Barry deal with it now. For the end of the mid-season finale, then when the show came back last week, we've seen him having to deal with the weight of knowing this future and then trying to stop it and things like this. It's nice to see that it's also affecting Iris and how she's going about it. Because again, right. Iris is one of the people that we've always seen in the show. She always, like, her and Joe, they're the foundation. They're the rocks of this show. So they rarely show when things like this are getting to them, you know? So it makes sense to me that she would do this, even to the fact of, let's be honest, manipulating Wally to help her. Also, hey, you know, Barry told me that in Flashpoint, me and you were a brother-sister crime fighting team. So let's go do that. And I'm like, what are you really up to?
Right.
So, no, I thought that was. It's an interesting thing, and also you felt it, right? When she breaks down, she's talking to Barry about that, and also just the fact that, you know, Barry and Wally don't want to talk to her about it, right? Because she brings up, you know, when there was a couple times when she's talking to Wally and jokes about that, not jokes about that, but it comes up, and Wally's just like, yeah, don't talk like that, don't talk like you're gonna, like, it's gonna happen. There's when at the end when Barry's reading the article, he's like, oh, there's a Pulitzer in your future, and he catches himself. He's like, no, we're gonna stop this. You're not gonna die. Like, it shows you that it's on everybody's mind.
Right.
And
and it would be, right? I mean,
right. It should be.
Giving one of your friends a literal ticking clock.
Right. It should be. And then there's also the whole thing of them not telling Joe, which I think is, I'm with HR. It's a bad idea not to tell Joe.
How's HR the smartest person on the show?
Right.
Like, what the hell, man? Even if you learn nothing from your own experiences, you've all watched Ollie fuck this up. How about we just, grow as a group?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Keeping secrets is bad, people. Never works out. But no, I really enjoy what they did with Iris there, because it's it's serious. And I think the people that, the Iris and Barry shippers who, they're obviously in the ship, they're in the relationship now, you got to be happy with the love they show each other. So, hey, everybody should be getting what they want.
Right.
All right, let's move on to the other stuff. Let's go back to HR, man. They cover something that we talked about last week, I believe, where it's the role reversal between him and Cisco.
Mm-hmm.
Where and I just feel like we're like, oh man, Dpalm and I just talked about this last episode about how it's role reversal, where it used to be that, Harrison Wells was the one saving the team, and Harrison Wells was the one that everybody depended on, the smart one, everything. Now the roles are reversal, and Cisco is now in the Wells position, and I can't say that HR is in the Cisco position because Cisco was still smarter than HR ever is right now, and more of a benefit to the team. But I like the fact that they actually addressed that. That, hey, yeah, Cisco feels a kinship with that. Like when HR was like, hey, you don't even like me. Why are you literally about to die for me? You don't even like me. And I'm just like, well, he has a bond with Harrison Wells.
Right. But
Two different
your
ones.
face means something different to him. And
right.
Something very complicated.
Yeah, it's very complicated. And it's he feels a way of getting back to him, and even and it's weird. Like, he's never been close to anybody other than the HR Wells, the Harrison Wells that killed him. If you want to be honest, that was the Harrison Wells he was closest to, the one that betrayed him the most. So. Yeah, you see the complications of this, and it's one of those things where, I don't have to like you, but you're my person to dislike. Like, it's like only I can talk about you that way, and right. I enjoyed seeing that there. I enjoy Tom Cavanaugh's relationship position on the show has been great for 3 seasons, and seeing him and Carlos working together, and each season has been a different relationship. It's been great. It's one of the highlights of the show. One of the most underrated things of the show is seeing that. So,
and also with what's happened with Cavanaugh's character this year in HR, it opened the door for the know-it-all curmudgeon to be replaced by Julian Bond, Draco Malfoy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and I think he does it well enough and different enough from Harry that I can appreciate it.
Because Harry still had a little bit of bedside manners when he wanted to.
He could turn it on if he had to.
Yeah, he could turn it on if he had to. Julian can't, and that's the funniest part.
It's hilarious.
Like when he was like, and I have Caitlin get the med bay ready. And it's like, for what? He's like, for when you put Gypsy in, when you defeat her, she'll be. And like, I was like, oh my God, he really is trying.
He just doesn't know how to be a person.
Right. He was legit trying that time, and it still came off terrible. Like, oh my God, like he's such a dick. Like, the opening thing is like, are you guys always this disorganized? And I'm like, there's a method to the madness. Let them work, man. You can't
let them work. Gotta let them work.
You can't just come in here. And then when Wally and Barry the stop the arms dealers and then show back up, and Julian's just like, well, yeah, I calculated this many. There are like 10 different ways you guys could have done this much more efficiently. I'm just like, wow, you are a dick.
And Wally's like, officially doesn't get me near the age inappropriate cheerleaders. So,
right. It does.
I can't not mention that. I'm sorry.
I mean, maybe they were college cheerleaders.
That was a school bus, Chris.
I mean, I've taken a school bus in college before for a trip. Maybe.
Okay.
I'm trying here, man. I'm trying. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. That's one thing I do wish they had made Wally a little bit younger.
Right? The Kid Flash thing feels so weird.
I'm sorry. The Kid Flash thing feels really weird because I'm like, but Barry, you don't even have facial hair. Like, you feel like a kid. Like, I feel like I do wish they had gotten a younger Wally. Yeah, but that I mean I'll take.
But that's us over here fantasy booking. Like, oh, I wish it's
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to sit here and complain. We have Wally West on our televisions doing Flash things.
Yeah, no, yeah. Hey, listen, he's cocky. He's Wally. You know,
he's Wally.
He's definitely Wally because Wally definitely would have stopped for the cheerleaders and taken the selfie. And I love how when they got back and Iris was like, yeah, so tell me about these cheerleaders, and Barry was like, oh no, that was not me. I was good. I was way over here. I did not look. That was all Wally.
I was holding the camera.
Right. Oh no, I didn't even hold I didn't look at the camera. I was nowhere near him.
What camera?
Right. Man, I ain't even got an opinion.
I'm also really glad they had Wally go with Iris, because Wally would have hit on Gypsy.
Yeah. Yeah. Which leads me, let's just go with the best part of the show. Cisco and Gypsy.
He's the best. They're the best.
Listen. When his first thing out of his mouth was hitting on her, yo. And Caitlin,
he couldn't help it. It's like he was watching himself do it.
The first thing Gypsy does when she enters in the Star Labs, she shoots HR. She shoots him in the chest. And Cisco's like, all right, but let's go talk about this. Maybe over dinner or drinks or
it's a great Thai place around the corner.
and Kayla's like, are you asking?
He was seamlessly hitting her, like threatening to hit on her.
Right.
He couldn't stop himself.
Like, are you asking her on a date? And I was like, hey, why you hating? Like, why? Mind your business, Caitlin. Like, why you worried about what he's doing? Like, dude, my man Cisco, the greatest.
Shoot your shot, all-star.
Oh my god, really? Like, remember, this is a dude who took his time, and great. I'm glad we don't. I'm glad we don't even acknowledge his short stint with Kendra.
Who?
Exactly. Because even Caitlin was like, there was Golden Glider and now her. I was like, what's going on? I'm like, oh, we're not even going to mention the girl who was had past lives and was a hawk. Okay, all right, cool. I like that. I'd forget that too. But yeah, man. No, listen. Gypsy's from the comic. Does he have those powers? Or do they change her powers?
They change her powers.
So they change her powers to fit to kind of be the same vibing powers.
Which I like, because I'm reading too much Hickman. I like the idea of the universal constant of someone who can jump between universes.
No, I think that's. I like the change they made too, because again it added. This show has a way of making the CW universe much bigger without trying too hard, and you do that by saying, "Hey, listen, they have Earth 19 bounty hunters who make it so that jumping between universes is illegal, and they go out and collect people and bring them back to their death." But
also, like, why they have that law, which is just a really cool, badass trope that we hadn't really thought about this show.
Yeah.
They were invaded by another universe?
Yeah. I was like, yo, I want to see that. I want to see that.
Like, when's that happening here?
Right. I'm like, I want to see that show. But then it made sense, right? It's like, oh, wow, think about it. Like, if you can travel between Earths and other Earths know that they can do this, why wouldn't one Earth try to invade another? Well, let's say you're on an Earth that is done. You want to remind me, like, you brought up the Hickman thing, reminds me of the whole, the Hickman run for New Avengers, where it's like you have the incursions of the Earths, and it's like, yeah,
a manifold on every Earth,
right? Why wouldn't you just invade another Earth if your Earth is dying? Why wouldn't you just invade another Earth? And so that makes it, because we don't get a lot of information about Wells's Earth, right? But they don't have coffee.
Really, they don't have coffee. They had a blight. Now they've been invaded.
And now they've been invaded. It sounds like a terrible place. No wonder he escaped. No wonder he came, right? So yeah, it's a cool way of making that universe so much bigger without showing it, Like, and you can then bring in different characters whenever you need because you have an infinite number of Earths you can bring from. Now you bring Gypsy, who is not from Earth 2, not from Earth 1. She's literally Earth 19. But here's my question is, what if you find a Gypsy on Earth 1?
No, he's the Gypsy of Earth 1, I think.
Oh, that could be.
Because the powers, remember there was Earth 2 was the exact copy.
I didn't think
so
about
they had
that.
Vibe. They had, was it Reverb, I think?
Yeah.
Reverb, and we've got Vibe. And I like how every time we meet a counterpart of Cisco or someone who represents that power set, he pushes himself a little bit further, learns a little bit more about his powers.
Right. I mean, because she stopped Wally in his tracks. I'm like, he's like, how are you doing? I was
like, how does your powers work?
Yeah, how do you do that? I'm like, hey, Cisco, that might be useful against a speedster. So learn that shit. Call her up and figure out how that shit works.
I think he's doing tons of calling her up actually after this one.
Right. I think that it was because here's the thing: we've had Wally. Barry's learned how to use his powers because he's had other speedsters teach him. Well, we have Cisco, who has powers. He's only learned that he can do certain things because he saw Reverb do it. So now he's learning that there's so much more things he can do with his powers. And so he even told him, like, you have no idea. Like, I love in their fight when she was like, yo, we're on the same frequency. You're holding back. Like, there's so many more things you can do. You're not doing them. You know? And I think that's why I like this episode being a Cisco-centered, pretty much for the most part, Cisco-centered episode. Right. Because you're like, oh, well, it's important. Like, you have a guy who can literally travel between breaches. We should talk about that more. It's a serious skill set. And then this fight shows that, like, them literally jumping between different Earths to have their fight. And I love the fact
that they go Earth 2, and then they go to Supergirl's Earth, which was a great little cameo.
Look, why not, right? We always talk about how they do little cameos between Arrow and Flash. It's like, well, how are you going to do one on Supergirl? She's on a different Earth. Well, you have a guy that can jump between Earths.
It was the smallest crossover ever.
And why not? Why not? I mean,
and then he'll end up on an Earth that seemed like it had lost a fight with Darkseid. That was a fire pit, no?
Yeah.
And they weren't dimension. And that's the thing about it. You got to remember, they're not jumping through time and space. They're just jumping through space. So ideally, it's the same spot on every Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Which is interesting because I've always thought to myself, how do you do Crisis? Because while we have the Dominators, to get to space, to get to Apocalypse, to get to that which is promised in that newspaper article, it's hard to get to me the Anti-Monitor from running around Central City. It's a whole lot easier if the Anti-Monitor is done like they did in New 52, where he's scouring universes to conquer.
Mm-hmm.
If they've come across one that's been conquered, that could have been the first setup for something very big down the line. And that's me being my little writer brain doing weird stuff. But yeah, that's what I would do.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think anything happens without a purpose. And it seemed weird to me that the first two spots they jumped to, we knew, right? You knew it was Earth 2. As soon as you saw the Catco building, you're like, oh, they went to Supergirl's Earth. Then when Gypsy takes this other one, it's like, okay, where is this Earth?
Right.
Because it doesn't make sense that you go to two places that make sense, and the third one is just looks like like we were gonna see fucking Anakin Skywalker crawling around. I got no legs, Lieutenant Dan. You know, it's like where are we at now? What's going on here? So, yeah, I didn't even think about the Apocalypse thing, but that makes sense. Not saying they'd go that far, but I mean, why not?
It's something you put down and say maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we get that's that moonshot. We're going to the moon by the end of the decade. You just say plant the flag and say maybe.
Well, shit. If I'm them and I see how terribly everything with the DC cinematic universe is going, why not plant the seeds now? Because you might be the only place that we could go to Apocalypse and deal with Darkseid and stuff like that. Because
funny story, that was actually the DC cinematic universe they visited.
Right.
The rewrite of Justice League is they lose.
Right.
So they have to do another hard reboot.
I'm just saying. Why not? I mean, why not? Because if I'm them, I plant the seed because you might be the only hope for getting it done. So, no, I thought that was really really well done, and I love also the fact that Cisco's flirting the entire time.
Oh, the entire time, and she's legitimately threatening to kill him.
Yeah, kinda.
Like when she says, the battle, it's to the death. He's like, yeah. And so, do you want 24 hours? And he almost said no. Bear's like, yes, he'll take it. Cisco's dick is not his friend.
No, not at all. She's gonna kill me, isn't she? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you say that, but it's like, at the same time, it's like she was doing that. She supposed to kill him, but she was playing with him too. Like, yeah. The attraction was definitely mutual, and I think because, again, like you said, I don't think she's probably met somebody with vibe powers, but not like Cisco. And yeah, man, I love that. It was awesome. It was awesome. And I love that Julian was there to help.
Oh yeah, and good for the show by making me want to trust Julian. But that they already showed us that he's the bad guy, right? Like we've established that he loses control and becomes a bad guy. I feel lukewarm about how much they're trying to get me to like him. But that was a good first step with Julian, though. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing: you're making me want to like Julian, but nobody's thought to ask. Maybe bringing Julian in and giving him access to all of our stuff is how the Savitar gets a hold of him again and is able to pull himself. Like, nobody's thought about that. And I'm just like, come on, man. This is all bad. All bad here. All bad here. Which leads me to another thing, too. So, Julian's telling, they make the little model. Julian tells him, hey, listen, Barry, you're not going to be able to cross that distance because you're basically topping out your speed. You're not, your speed's not improving. You're not going to be able to get to the top speed you need to get to with all the training you're doing in 4 months. And once he said that, I'm already in the back of my mind going, they've been setting up this whole thing about Wally accelerating his speed and getting faster and faster. They've been setting this up all season, ever since Wally got his powers.
Right.
And so when Barry has that realization that, oh, wow, it can be Wally can be the one that saves her. And my thought immediately goes, yeah, but why wasn't Wally there in the first place?
Bye, Wally.
Like,
yeah, and the best part, not the best part, one of the cool parts about this is that while our old Dick Wells would have probably just been mean to Barry about it, Julian used math to humiliate Barry.
Right.
He's like, this is your graph. That's ready to be. You can't do that. Mm-hmm. I think you're right. I think that why isn't Wally there is a great question. Could he have been sent away from the fight? Does this prove to Barry that he needs Wally in the fight? Who knows? But I'll tell you something. It's added a layer of intrigue as to what exactly happens 4 months from now.
Right. I there's so many questions I have. Like, and the other thing too is, remember, Wally's half baked. He's a half baked speedster. We took him out of his cocoon too soon. What happens if Julian becomes alchemy again and Salvatar's back? Is Wally okay? Is Wally not going to be a effect? Like, I have a lot of questions as to,
right.
Like, it just doesn't make sense.
What the hell is actually going on with Wally?
Right. Like, Wally should have been there.
Can Savitar take back the gifts he's granted?
Yeah, because here's the thing. Like, Wally and Barry, even without knowing Wally, the future, Wally was going to be training with Barry to begin with. So if Barry's is in the Flash suit, so it's not like Barry and Iris were out on a date, and that's when Savitar picked him up. Like, that would have made okay. I get why Wally isn't there. Barry's in the suit,
mm-hmm.
So Wally would have been in the suit too, unless he's been incapacitated or something else happened to him. So it makes you wonder. Like, I think it's a good plan for Barry. Hey, listen, run, Wally, run. You're getting faster. You can save Iris. 2 speedsters are better than 1. We get you in the position. You can do it. Makes sense. Question I have is, why wasn't he around? Why wasn't he fighting Savitar? What happened? Right. So I think it's a good move by Barry, but it should call into question why Kid Flash wasn't there. So to begin with, so
good point.
I don't know. We'll see what's going on. Yeah, but overall, man, I've really liked it. Like, again, just Cisco centered episode. You're gonna have me anyway.
100%. I think that this was really good. This is something the show kind of needed. Was kind of an episode to show that this is our current status quo, and this isn't working at optimal speeds. Mm-hmm. Before they start shaking things up, you want to see how good it can be. And yes, there was an invader from another planet, and Iris Deathwish Allen is going out there and doing shit. But at the same time, at its core, like, it was focused on the relationships of the characters, and it was focused on character growth. Like, our main plot moved forward because Julian humiliated Barry with math.
Right.
Everything else was kind of almost a holding pattern type episode, but it's the kind of ones you need in the meat of a season to really, so that the change, so that the shift, so that the twist hurts even more.
Oh, and like I said, and we really got real good movement on solidifying, and we get this once a season with the solidifying the relationship between Cisco and Harrison Wells, and this one did that where, you know, they have talks about where you had HR not willing to admit why he came to Earth, and basically being on something. I looked in the mirror and was like, I was a fraud. I want to come out and make a difference, and that's why I did it. And then you have Cisco admitting, hey, listen, I'm doing this because, hey, as much as I try to run from it, Harrison Wells meant a lot to me. He did a lot for me, and he saved my life. Maybe next time it's time for you to step up and you'll save mine. You had Barry and Cisco have, because if you think about Barry and Cisco have had a rocky relationship this season. So Barry coming in and telling Cisco was like, listen, you know, you're a hero just like I am, and what you got to realize, when I'm out there, I'm scared too, and I lean on you guys. You guys are my support, so you can do this, and we need to trust that you can do this, and you can be a hero just like I am. Right?
Yo, did your mind go back to the beginning of the season when he was like, okay, when Aqua talked to him, like, maybe you shouldn't.
Yeah.
I was like, in case you missed it, Gypsy just put Wally, froze him in his tracks. Like, if he decides you're not moving and you're going to leave him alone, you may leave him alone.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, I think that is stuff that we need to have there. There was another one. Yo, did you catch the, did you catch that Joe and Cecile had a "that's what she said" joke amongst them?
No.
So when Iris first shows up, Cecile's talking to Joe about the no knock warrant, and Joe's like, "Yeah, we gotta go in there hard. We gotta go in there fast and hard." And Cecile looks at him and is like, and they both start laughing. That's why they're laughing. They're laughing at that joke. And it's like, oh my God, I am uncomfortable. You guys just made a sex joke. Like, I felt embarrassed for Iris, but she didn't hear the joke. But that's why they were laughing so hard. It was hilarious. And then also Joe freaking out because he thought Iris was talking about having a kid with Barry.
You're right. That was really good. I really enjoyed it.
Like Joe saw his life flash before his eyes. He needed to sit down. She was like, "Yeah, do you think Barry's a dog or cat person?" She's like, "Dog or cat?" Okay. She's like, "Yeah, what do you think I was talking about?" I was like, "Okay, yeah, just get him anything that has 4 legs. That's fine. Just the 4-legged kind of creature that is okay. Expand your family that way." Yeah. Awesome. And I also love the fact that Joe does know something's up knows something that is up with Iris.
They let him be smart, which is good.
Right. Always gotta love that. So anything this is a pretty straightforward episode. Like I said, I just loved it because it was yeah. I honestly I just loved it because it was Cisco flirting with Gypsy and as he was getting his ass whooped.
Like, yeah, even while he's getting pushed through portals, he's still trying to hit on her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Cisco, you got some. You won, and I think only because the script told you that we had to win. But you got to step your game up because Gypsy was doing all kinds of cool stuff. And,
yeah, man, like I get it. You guys playing for that one move. You set her up for it, but I'm gonna need you to get back in the gym.
Yeah, dude, I need you. Yeah.
If you're gonna wear that suit, sir, which wasn't bad, I'm gonna need you to earn to fight like you need to be in that suit.
Yeah. Although I did, suit's not bad. Not a bad suit, dude. Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good for yourself, Cisco. So, keep those interdimensional. Oh, and the interdimensional curve. Whew. At the end, the Gypsy gave him.
Yo.
Like it was both sexy and both on some. Damn, she kind of ripped your heart out too. But I think she did it on purpose because I think she's a tease.
He was good for it. He was into it. So
yeah. He was like, oh, what a goodbye. Like I'm like, oh man, yeah. I need her back on the show. Yeah, that'd be great.
She'll be back. She had good chemistry with all the cast. Yeah, I think they'll be good to bring her back.
Oh yeah, no, because sometimes they bring in a one off, and the chemistry's not really there, and they don't really feel a part of it. Like I felt like she'd be a good part of not a regular, but a permanent member of the cast. But she's a good person to have pop up every now and then because, like you said, her chemistry with particularly with Cisco was great. But even the rest of the cast, like her and H, like that when she was waiting for Cisco to show up in the final battle, and HR is talking about how they don't appreciate good novels on Earth 19. It's like she's gonna kill you right now, not because it's the law, but because you're annoying the shit out of her. Shut the fuck up, HR. Shut the fuck up. So no, it was great. So yeah, man. Solid episode. Love it. And like you said, the effects were way better than last week, and I think it's because you're doing portals. Like the way she was stepping in and out of those portals, man. Yeah, okay, yeah, definitely doing that. So, all right, folks. There you guys have it. That is our recap for Flash: Dead or Alive. You can find the rest of the reviews on movietrailerreviews.net or mtrnetwork.net. Search for Super Tuesday Recap. Again, leave us a 5-star review, and we'll read it on air. I know we had emails, but I think we had only emails for. I think the emails were only for Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., but let me double check real quick there. Okay. Yeah, they were just for Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. So I will make sure that. Yeah, just for Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. But yep, solid episode for the Flash. Feel like we're again, we're racing towards that May date, and we'll see what happens there. And really enjoying it. So, and leave us a 5-star review, Super Tuesday recap, and until next time, we are out of here. Peace.